All right, Jeremy, you ready for some smash and trash? Or smash or trash, I think it is.
I think smash it. Okay, let's do
Smash or trash, all right. Smash or trash, pineapple on pizza.
Smash.
Yes.
Gotta have bacon with it.
Bacon or Canadian?
Canadian bacon, regular bacon, ham.
Ham, it doesn't matter.
Anything in the pork family for me.
Yes, I agree. I love pineapple pizza.
Yep.
Cereal or a full breakfast?
I mean, like on a week, full breakfast if
You
I
can
have
say
time.
anywhere you
Full
want.
breakfast if I have time.
And if somebody else is making it?
I like to make it.
Really?
I love to make it on the griddle. I've got
Now,
a
the
griddle,
griddle
and
works,
that's my
yes.
go-to. So I love to cook breakfast.
Yes, because there's no mess in the house.
Yeah.
You ain't got to clean the dishes. And you can do everything
Right there.
there on the griddle.
Yep.
The eggs and then, or the bacon first, that way you get
Get a little berries on it. Yep, you got to start with bacon. Yep.
That's right. Movie remakes.
Pass.
Pass.
Or trash. Sorry, trash.
Trash,
I've never done
yeah.
this. Sorry, never done this. Smash or trash.
Smash or pass, trash.
I'm a trash.
Yeah.
I like the originals. I think the remakes
agree.
are, I mean, yeah.
I'm trying to think, has there been a good one though?
The Top Gun remake, I didn't
But that's
hate.
not a remake, that's the second.
Okay, it's the second. Okay.
So we're talking about like Dukes of Hazzard, not Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay.
No,
Like-
they did do a Dukes of Hazzard
I mean,
remake.
like you talking like Batman type thing, maybe?
No, like a total like if they just redid Goonies and totally tried to do the same thing, but like in a modern
I'm out
twist.
on that. I'm out. Yeah,
Yeah.
trash. Yeah,
I like
I'd rather go watch the like a black and white film if that's the
Right.
original. Like, give me that.
Or just make it a second.
Make it a
And
second.
change the character somehow, or be like make them the
A
kids
spin-off.
of.
Exactly. Like I'm
something
good with
like
a
that.
spin-off, but like
Yes.
I can't do like I have some originality. You know, have a little bit of something to you.
I agree. All right, socks and flip flops.
Socks and flip flops together, trash. No.
Uh,
That's an old man thing. I mean, that's.
It is. But Big Boy from Outkast wears socks and flops all the time. He rocks them.
I mean, like Big Boy.
It's
from
comfortable.
Outkast.
Yeah, if you're Big Boy from Outkast, you can pull it
He
off.
does wear velour sweatpants all the time too. Not something I can rock.
All right, exercise on vacation.
Oh, pass, trash. No, absolutely not.
I've always wanted to be that. I don't know if I want to be that person. I always want to do that because it makes sense, especially if you're gone for a week. But I've never done it. I don't think I've ever done it.
I'm the guy that sees the people exercising, and I'm like, man, I need a 12-ounce curl.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at. My
Exactly.
exercise is the walk to the beach with the cooler and my kids.
Matching pajamas.
Trash. I mean, my girls and my wife do that, but they have not got me on that one.
All right. Pet snakes. I don't know why I wrote that down.
Trash. No.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
No, like, I don't want a snake anywhere near me.
Nowhere.
Like,
I
I feel
don't
like
get that.
if you told me there was a snake here, I may not have showed up. Shown up.
There is a kid on TikTok or Instagram, whatever, that was like, I'm going to hold this snake I'm going to let the snake bite me for as many likes as I get or something like that. And then literally snake was popping him. And he was just holding him. He was like, ow, ow. And it just kept popping him. And he was like 48, 49. He stopped at 50. I didn't watch all 50. I stopped at like 13. But I kept like zooming in. Is it really? And it was popping him.
I mean, no.
No.
And, we've got some realtor partners and friends that we both know that love snakes and all those pets, but that's just
Keep it at home.
nope. Nah, you
Lock
keep
it
that
up.
to you. Keep that to you.
Speaking of pets, a Flat Creek Floyd monument or memorial, smash or pass trash?
So,
You're gonna hurt people's feelings.
So smash, but not on the taxpayer dime.
Okay.
Like I think we need some rich
Who
guy.
here could sponsor that? Who could like? Does it need to start with an F? Does it need to be alligator bites? Who serves alligator bites? I don't know.
That would be good, but I think maybe there could be a coalition if it needs to get done. There's enough people in Peachtree City that could throw together. But yeah, I'm against raising taxes. So for me, if you're gonna,
did tax dollars pay for that little soiree they had last Friday where they met and the mayor spoke and the police?
I'm willing
Chief of
to
Police?
I'm willing to say yes.
Yeah.
I want to say yes, and leave it at that. Right? Those are good guys.
Maybe those low dollar things.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
Like,
that's
those
nothing.
people are working at that time.
That's what I'm saying. That's nothing. That's whatever. But I think if we're putting in a statue, we can't. That's nobody can make anything cheap and easy. So they're going to do. It'll be something crazy.
All right. Bucket hats. Evidently, that is coming back. I'm seeing more.
I'm trashing that. I got a big head. I don't need to make it look any bigger.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel like they're goofy looking. I do understand their purpose.
Yep.
Like, if you're in the sun, they work, but as a style...
My stepdad, he loves his. He cuts grass with it. You know, apparently they have one with the little fans now. My mom legit showed it to me the other day, and I was like, I don't know that I would do that for him, but Papa might like it.
Right.
So, you know.
But HOAs.
Whew.
That's a hard one.
Man.
We all hate them, but it's like you gotta have.
I mean, I gotta smash on that again. Like, they can get out of hand, and like you said, a bad HOA president or bad HOAs can be awful. But when we look, like, I live in a neighborhood, you live in a neighborhood. Like, if you don't have an HOA in these,
but we
places,
don't have an HOA.
Really?
But there's this one weird guy on the street that has a mannequin on his front porch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's weird.
That's me. So.
I was texting going in. I didn't pay that much attention. So you're the weird guy with the mannequin.
Say hello. Yeah, the mannequin's a great story. I won't get into it, but when I moved over here, I had the mannequin. It started as just a Halloween prop and then never left the front porch. And then when I moved over here, a good friend of mine lives in the neighborhood and said, you know you're not going to be able to bring that over here. I was like, why not? I was like, well, there's no HOA, but the neighbors are not going to let you. I was like, oh. And I wasn't planning on bringing it. Like, it was just kind of ran its course. But now, oh, yeah.
So, yeah, challenge accepted.
She doesn't go.
Hold my beer.
That's right. That's right. So, working with your spouse.
Trash. Absolute trash. We would murder each other. I love her to death, and she feels the same way, but we would not be our spouse.
Sharing a suitcase while traveling.
Yeah, I've got smash. My wife does the little foldable cubes and all that, and if she's willing to fold it and put it in the cubes, I'll carry the suitcase. So.
Right. Checking bags.
Smash. Yeah, I love checking a bag. Yeah, I mean...
Like, I hate to have to go get it, but I love walking through the airport with nothing.
Well,
it's just relaxing.
And again, I have younger kids. If I'm going on a bigger vacation and I'm flying, like, I would much rather pack, hey, let's just pack 2 large ones and maybe have their backpacks type stuff as carry-on. But if I'm carrying 2, 3, I'm going to be wheeling a bunch of suitcases, and I'm not dealing with that.
All-inclusive.
So
resorts or whatever.
Love it and hate it. I haven't done it with my kids yet. Love it for adults only. You know, I've done a couple of those in Jamaica. I don't know about the kids. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the heavy drinking type stuff and all of that, and around my kids, if that makes sense. I love it when I'm with myself, you know, or my wife. But all
right, camping in a tent.
I'm gonna go smash. My wife will go trash.
Yes.
Right. She's completely anti, but I think I haven't done it in a long time, but I think it would be fun. Like, my little man would probably like it. Yeah.
So with Boy Scouts, we camp a lot. But the actual tent part is my least favorite. So people think I love camping. I love the idea of camping. Okay. I love being outside, waking up with the sun and it getting dark. And once it gets dark, everything kind of shuts down. You'll go to bed, you build a fire, you sit around and talk. I love that part of camping. The actual sleeping in a tent is not my favorite.
I get that. You know, I get that. I mean, we did a borderline, I guess, glamping type thing in Arizona last year, and we slept in a covered wagon, you know, kind of like we were old country westerners. It was awful.
Yeah.
You know, 105 degrees in a covered wagon with 3 kids and your wife. So yeah, it was pretty awful. Wow. So I get the sleeping part.
All you can eat buffets.
Smash. I love a good buffet. I mean, if you think, obviously you're an old Fayette County person too, old Tubby T. We all remember Coach Townsend.
Yeah.
That was, to me, Buckner's. That's all. Me, all our friends.
Wow.
Going to the buffet was one of my favorite experiences of playing ball.
I do like nicer buffets.
Yep.
Now that I'm a little older, is there something Fragreach made or something in Noonan?
Yes.
It's nasty.
You don't like? I love that place, man.
It is gross. It's not the food. It's just so many people touching and leaning on everything. Like, I love a buffet when It's real laid out.
Yeah.
It's clean. You scoop
Yeah.
what you want. You can get options, but that one just I was like,
I get where you're at with
there was
the
more
concept.
food on the floor than in the buffet.
See, I get that concept, but I don't know. Like, I'll eat. I mean, if it's what I like to eat, I'll eat a lot of it. I'm not picky.
Yeah.
My brothers get on to me because they're like, really? Like, I mean, quick sidebar, I have traded like half of a combo meal at a concert for some alcohol because I didn't want to wait in line for food, and I was getting the half-eaten food side of it. So one of the stories my wife is still, she's like, I'm so embarrassed and ashamed of you, and I'm like, well, who's not hungry right now and not missing the concert?
I love it. That is so awesome. I love Star of India's buffet, actually.
Okay.
If you love Indian food, if you really love Indian food, you probably won't like it because it's real basic stuff. But I just like being able to get a lot of the rice, as much of the rice and the couple of the different sauces as you can if you like Indian food.
So I've never eaten there. I'm not a big spice guy.
Yeah.
And so Indian food, every time I've had it, has been a little bit
I can tell you
too...
what to order that is not spicy at all, but it's flavorful.
Okay, I can try that. I mean, I'd be willing to try something because I've tried before and it was spicy, and I was like, yeah, I'm out on this.
All right. Well, closing time. Let's transition into a smash or trash mortgage related.
Okay, all right.
15-year mortgages.
Smash. I mean, if you can afford it, I mean, if you can do it, do it. I mean, so
it's tough now. I wish things were more. If rates drop, like you think of the regret in hindsight, like everyone getting 30-year fixes at 3%.
Yeah.
They really should have got 15 at 2%,
Yep.
or 2.5%, or whatever it was, and they'd be free and clear, or getting pretty darn close.
I've got a buddy of mine that has a 1.99 on a 15-year. Lives a few doors down from me, and it's like, and he's like, I can't. He's like, even if I want to move, I can't sell this house. He's like, so yeah. I mean,
what about ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages, smash or trash?
So again, for me, smash. To the right consumer, right? As long as you educate people about it, right? It's not something I'm doing for a first-time home buyer, not something that we're saying, hey, we're trying to like trick you into qualifying or not. Right. But no, it's to me, when you're doing for the right reasons, it makes sense, right? Like my brother's in an ARM, right? He's did one of the an ARM, but again, for him was, hey, we're going to do an ARM. He's going to income's increasing. He's selling a property. Like it makes sense for him.
You know that you're going to be out of that mortgage
exactly
in 5 or 7 years.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I wish in Canada all they do is ARMs.
Really? Did not know that.
Yes, everything is and I don't know the details, but I feel like there's no mortgage longer than 8 years in Canada.
Okay.
So you talk about a housing crisis. If rates are still high, as those roll over, all those people that in Canada that are at those low interest rates that we had in 2018, 19, 20, or even back, before that, those people are in trouble because their payments are going to double,
even triple sometimes.
Triple, and then without, I'm sure their taxes have gone up just as ours has. Yep. So, but I love the idea of a shorter term mortgage if you can provide me a lower rate, not term, because we need the 30-year.
Yeah.
And but to have it, why not have them with it only good for 7 years?
Yep.
It's good for the industry. It's good for us.
Yeah.
But I think if you could offer a lower rate, then why not?
Well, incentivize the person, right? It lets them know, hey, here's the lower rate. You're going to have it for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And if you refinance, great. You can have a lower rate whenever the market adjusts. Or if not, your rate's going to go up. But as long as they understand it, they're having a savings. Because I think, and again, I haven't looked at this stat in a while, but the last time I did, the life cycle of a mortgage was like 3.5 years. Yeah. So, I mean, odds are you're going to buy, sell.
That number has increased over the last few years, but it was that for a long time.
Yeah, maybe 4.5 somewhere now. Is that about where it's at? Or?
Importing, and I don't know if you've heard that term because it's not, no one does it. But I remember people asking about it because it hit some news article. So porting just means you take your mortgage for your current house and you port it over to the next house. That should be a thing. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't do it now if I was a mortgage company because the thought is that rates are only going to be lower from here. But when they're at 3%, why not offer them let them port it and take it somewhere else and be creative if you're a mortgage company and you get a ton of business if you can take that loan with you.
I mean, I think the key is, being if you could take it with you and float, because, I mean,
All they got to do is you go to attorney, you have them roll the deed to the new one. It just seems simple, but
Yeah.
it's got to be a reason. I'm sure it's financial.
I'm sure it's legal. Some type of lawsuit somewhere happened. Anytime something seems really good, it's like, hey, we got to get the wool pulled out.
Yeah, exactly. Paying points, smash or trash?
I wish I could say trash, but I mean, I guess smash for me. I mean, you're not really getting a competitive rate in most markets without some type of a point. I'm not saying pay 3 points, right? But to get half a discount point, maybe a full point on there, I think makes sense to get a decent rate. But any more than that, I probably wouldn't do unless the borrower just really wants it.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I think it's simple math.
Yep.
Like you literally run break-even points. You see what it's going to cost. This is what I'm paying to save this amount a month, and what's my break-even point?
Yep.
And then it just makes sense. But right now, paying points gets you a much better rate than say 5 years ago. You could pay 1 point and you only got a quarter discount. Now you might get 3/8 or a half, and then it makes a lot more sense.
Well, even 5 years ago, I felt like you're paying that. It's like, hey, my rate is paying from 5 1/4 to 5%, whereas it's not as much of a deal. Whereas like you're going from 6.7 to 6 1/8 is a big difference in that payment.
Yeah.
So,
business cards, smash or trash?
I still smash them. I'm old school. I'm a younger guy, but I love a good business card. I mean, I got a file folder that I keep in my office with any cards I get, and just you never know when you're going to need it. I mean, it's just a good contact. And I mean, for me, my phone is still a business card. You keep, you can send digitally, you have numbers, but for me, knowing I'm not going to save every number. I go through so many people, and to know when I've got, hey, who does this random thing? I mean, I have a contact for a doula, right? Like literally, I'm on my back porch, and my wife and one of her good friends are talking, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we need somebody about a doula. We have her sister's wanting to use. It's done now. This is a couple years ago." And I'm like, "Oh, I got a contact."
Yeah.
And it was when they're like, "Oh, what? Like why would I randomly have a contact?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I have a client's wife who does that. We've helped them buy a house. They live here locally. Let me connect you."
Yeah.
And they ended up working together, right? And that's one of those. But yes, I had the client's name, but I actually got her card at the closing and had it in my, because she wasn't on my loan, but that's what she did, and
I agree with you, because I know I just was listening to another podcast. They talked about it, and it seems like every business development class says that business cards are obsolete. I just disagree. Like, it is a touch. It is something. Yes, they might lay on their desk. Yes, they might throw it away, but it's almost like a flyer that's professional. And you hand them out. It's got to be something you can grab, because people don't enter your number right away. They might do it when they get in the car or whatever. So I think you got to have that.
Well, we go so many places, right? Let's say we go in, and whether it be a local school, right? I mean, obviously you're involved with your son's life. You're in a school, and maybe you left donuts or something, and it's like you left a sticker or a business card. Like, I'm not talking to everybody there. You can't see it, but they're like, "Oh man, who dropped this off?" Well, you know what? David left his business card there. He dropped it off.
Yeah.
You might get nothing out of it. It may be even, "Hey, thank you for dropping this off."
Yeah.
I've got those emails, which to me is at least they received it, and maybe that's a contact you'll get down.
And
the
they
line.
might be like, "Oh, I think Mary in history class was talking about mortgage." They grab it and they pass it down.
Exactly, and it could get trashed, but who cares? It's an easy way where if you just had the digital, you had no chance to get that card passed.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, smash or trash, Jeremy? Buying a house with a girlfriend or a boyfriend?
Ooh, I'm gonna say smash.
Really?
And I guess it's one of those. It's a new world, right?
Yeah.
It's a new world. It's not something I did or would have done necessarily, but it's a lot of people right now. Their finances are tough, right? And it's like, hey, I would recommend them getting married, but I can't tell somebody to get married first, right? But I'm seeing friends buy houses together, right? We're seeing, like, why not have a significant other buy a house with you? Now, it again comes with circumstance. You need to talk to them about what goes into that.
And you need an exit strategy.
Yes, exactly. You need to let them know, here's what we're doing, right? This is what you're buying. What's going to happen if this, right? And again, I feel like that is one of those, like, but I've helped a couple. I've helped a few couples in that situation. I'll give an example. dude got kicked out of his house, right? Was whatever. Don't know all the ins and outs. I mean, I've been a 20-year-old kid and, got into it with my parents before, so I get that. But he's kicked out of his house, living with some friends. Girlfriend, I guess, ended up being fiance, but renting with another friend. And the house that he's in, staying with, again, the people got pregnant. It was a friend and his girlfriend. And they came to him and were like, hey, you've got to get out. And so for him, it's like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
And so these were friends of my little sisters, and they were like, hey, can you talk to them? They've got good credit, they've got jobs. And I'm like, well, would you want to buy a house? Because they didn't want to rent. They were adamant, we don't want to rent. They're 20 and 21 years old and just bought a house. We did the Georgia Dream program for them. And so it's one of those, it's like, not the everybody's circumstance, but I don't want to say trash it, because it's just like, there's a lot of people in that situation that weren't like me, that didn't have the benefit of maybe the best home life.
Right.
And
so my reason I would trash it, and emphatically trash it, because if you're not married, there's a reason. If you're not engaged, if you're engaged, it's different. If you have a wedding date set, but if you're not married, there's a reason. Or if you're not even engaged, there's a reason.
I see that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you're making a commitment on a mortgage that the exit strategy that I referred to. Yep. That's the biggest problem.
Yep.
Nobody wants to think about prenups, and nobody wants to think about what happens if it doesn't work out. Yep. But you have to, because what happens if a year from now it doesn't work? Then you don't even have equity to sell the house without going under. And one person wants to stay, and the other wants their money out. Yeah. It is very complicated. Yeah. Very complicated. So if you can, obviously, if you you have a great relationship, you have to have that extra strategy. You got to know that if we break up, the other person, because they might not qualify on their own to refinance it out of that other person's name.
Well, and again, that I agree.
It wasn't a moral reason. I wasn't saying it morally. No. I was saying financially, it's a tough thing.
Yeah, no, and I agree with closer to the fiance, we're getting engaged. There's an end game, not like, hey, we're together for 2 weeks and let's buy a house together. So I agree with that. There's got to be some, because life happens and it sucks. Yeah. I mean, you never know.
Smash or trash in-house lenders. Either being one or...
I mean, I'll say trash. Just because it's frustrating. I think there's a lot of bias. I've been an in-house lender before, and it's very difficult, right? It's very difficult to work that. And then on the other side, it's very difficult when you have... I think to me, all the around it, right? When you have people that are saying, hey, you're forced to use this. When you have higher ups that are basically forcing you to use an in-house lender or incentivizing you to use an in-house lender, that's the frustration for me. But I mean, so I guess I'm in between, but I guess I'll say...
No, I get it. I think for me, in-house lenders, I understand financially why everybody does it. Yeah. I think there should be more than one, because when there's only one, the agents that are in there are going, well, I'm not getting the money from the lender. The company is, so you can't tell me who to use. And I think it takes away the competition. I think there should be, if you're going to have in-house lenders, why not have 2 or 3 in-house lenders?
Like builders do. Most builders have it.
Why not have 3 and then they all get to come in and do it? You could make the same amount of money. Yeah. And then agents, because your relationships, we don't get along with everybody.
100%.
So if your top producer doesn't get along with your in-house lender, that guy's losing money by sitting in there. Yes. And probably still paying for their open houses.
Well, and that was the biggest reason because I've been the in-house lender and paid a lot of decent money in places, and that's why for me, while we left, it was like, man, it's like we're spending a lot of money to not even and knowing that I'm not getting sniffs, even if that makes sense, on some of the top producers, because they're already using this other guy or this other gal, and they're not bad lenders, right? There's a lot of good lenders in our area. There's a lot of good realtors, so it's not like either one of us are the only good person in the area. Why not have 2 or 3, right? And say there may be somebody that Dave gets along with, there may be somebody that Jeremy gets along with better, and to me that only grows the brokerage as well as the lender relationships. Because we're all competitors, but we're friends. A lot of us outside here too.
And that's perfect, because you are kind of my competition, even though we work in the same company. We don't really call on the same people. But I just enjoy you. I just think you're a great person. I'd be friends with you if you weren't. So if I worked with you in an office, I would have no problem telling people how awesome you were, because if they like me, they're going to do business with me. If they like you better, they're going to, whether I say it or not.
To me, 100% agree, and that to me shows that when your mentality, right, of hey, your personality, and saying, hey, look, there's enough business for all of us out here. We're all willing to work. We're going to do our jobs. There's going to be people, like you said, that you know, that you've worked with for years, that I may go up and not have any relationship. And of course, I'm going to call on them and say, no, hey, I work with Dave. Oh, okay, awesome. He's a great dude, great lender.
Yeah.
And whether we work at the same company or not, I mean, I'm good from one of my good friends works at a competitor. I mean, I'm, texting her different things, and if she's got an event, I'm going to share her info, right? It's that's part of it. Like, would I rather her or him, different people, let's all work together? Sure, but guess what? We all can't be under the same company.
Right.
It doesn't help consumers. It doesn't help brokerages for us all to be under the same umbrella. So, yeah.
All right. Let's switch to marketing.
Okay.
So this is still mortgage related. Smash or trash, sponsoring an open house.
Smash. I enjoy it. I think I enjoy going to an open house, sponsoring, going with agents. I mean, sometimes they're, especially lately with the market being slow, it can be a long day. Maybe it's a little bit boring if no people show up. But to me, the reason we're there is to support the agent.
Right.
Right. Our job's there to support the agent. Whether somebody shows and they get it, great. But again, my end game and our end game, I would think, support the agent. Spend your time, your effort, whether it be food, a sponsorship, a gift card, to let them know you're there, right? You support them, whether you do this. I mean, odds are you're not going to get that home, right? It's not like an agent walking in and every buyer's walking in there's probably approved.
Yeah.
You would think if the agent's done their due diligence. So most likely we're not going to get the buyer, but it's supporting that person, right? And
I love it. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I absolutely love sponsoring open houses because you're supporting that agent. You have time to sit with them and build a relationship and association. Like when I sponsor open houses, I choose realtors that I want to be associated with.
100%.
And I love that. Facebook ads. You run any ads on Facebook?
I have ran some. I've got to get better at it, right?
But you figured out how to do the targeting thing where you pay for an ad, but it's only sent to certain.
So our marketing
people, right?
team's helping me do a little bit of that. I like it. It's one of those I've got to get. I wish I could dissect it if that makes sense. Like and say, hey, turn it on, turn it off, because there's times and it's like, okay, like I'll get the lead, it'll be somebody, and I'm like, why is this running at 3 a.m. and it's almost like a bot, if that makes sense. So I've still got some kinks to work out.
You can twerk it.
Yeah, I can twerk it out too. I'll twerk it out. But so I think they're good. I'm just not great at it yet.
Cold calling with a script.
Smash, hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be doing a challenge that I've somebody's challenged me, or Chris has challenged it, is trying to make more calls, right? Reaching through my phone book and just calling it, and that to me is very difficult, because it's like, hey,
scripts are great too.
But
I love scripts, love them. And to me, I think when people think of scripts, it should not sound rehearsed. A script is just, I know what I'm going to say, and I also know what I'm going to say when they reply with this, or this.
Yeah.
And it takes practice, and sometimes you do have to do it 10 times and it sounds rehearsed, but to have those answers is huge. It makes you come across professional and sound.
Well, to me, I think the biggest thing with a script is we're not reading it verbatim. It's a script, right? And it's giving you kind of the answers, but you're still putting it in your own words, right?
Yeah.
It's not reading, here's what I have. It's giving that same answer, but in how Dave would say it or how Jeremy would say it, not just how this script read.
All right, branded swag, like
Smash, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to get
presidential
more of it.
footballs and.
So for me, I want all my
koozies.
own stuff.
Okay.
Right, that's the big thing, and presidential too. But like I've got my own tent. So if you need a tent for an event, let me know. It's a 10x10.
It says Jeremy Hyde, invest with the vest.
Invest with the vest. Jeremy Hyde team. So I love branded swag, but for me, I want it to be more so. I want my brand to be the brand, if that makes sense, and just like in. I haven't got a ton of it yet, right here at Presidential. I've got some. But to me, like the notebook pads we talked about, pens. I mean, just stuff because people use it, right? And it's like, you know, having a notepad with your information and it, you know, then somebody writing on it. If you're writing on it every day, at some point you're you know what, maybe I'm calling it.
Yeah, I've gone completely away from branding the company.
Yep.
I love where I work, love the company.
Yes. Yep.
But I also have to think of myself and my transition to the next place, and I want people to think of David Monsoor and not Presidential.
Yep.
I want them to see my brand and my website, so that if the company for me, Homebridge was sold.
Yeah.
That wasn't a choice I made.
Yep.
So all that branding I did for them was gone out the window.
Yep.
So at that point,
Yep.
you know, I had my own logo and starting to push it more.
100% same reason. I had, you know, company merger, and I can't tell you how many notepads, fans, different things that are null and void because it's got the wrong logo on it now for me. And it's like,
you got a box of it, you can't give it out.
I mean, literally. I mean, I did give it out to a church because it was an outdoor church and they were a little, you know, fans. So I'm like, whatever. They'll still be able to use them. It did have my number on it at least, but I'm like, whatever. You know, it's you can't really. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. If it's got my brand on it, I can give it anywhere.
Handwritten notes.
So Smash, I'm doing more. No, also hate it. Also hate it. I'm doing more of it, right? So I'm trying to do like, again, 2 to 3 a week, and like that from none is a huge thing. I've done probably 10 to 15. Haven't got any response back recently from them, but I'm starting on like, hey, on a closing or like reaching out to the list agent, right? Offering a call. We can say, here's a little $5 gift card. Can we go to coffee and put in a, you know, thanks, it's great meeting you at closing or whatever it was. I think they're really good. I know when I receive a handwritten note from somebody, I'm going to read it. You know, I get a birthday card from a couple agents, and some are just the can, but handwritten. I'm like, oh man, that's really nice. That's
awesome.
You know,
I think it's huge. I just got one from a builder.
Yeah.
That is starting to build. And it was awesome, and it made me want to support their business.
Yep, 100%.
Because of a handwritten note. Just because I think I liked their Facebook page or something.
Yeah.
And they wrote me a handwritten note. I was like, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, you're going to do good. If you're paying attention, you're doing that, you're going to be fine. And so, yeah, it's because it's details. It's people. Our job, right, is to do mortgages. Okay, yes, that's the end game, is to help people buy houses, but it's how you get there, right? It's building that relationship, how you make people feel, how you make the realtor feel, if the client, the people sending you referrals, if you make them feel good in general, they're more likely to send you business, right? I mean, it's the little things of, I mean, shoot, like you said, go and comment. Oh, you know, you got a new puppy. Have a comment on it. Go talk to them about it, or even send them a picture of it. Like you said, a handwritten note. Oh my gosh, I saw this. You got a new dog, and I also have a French bulldog. That's really cool. Let's you know, get them together or whatever. Something of that nature. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I agree 100%.
Well, I did. I've heard this now twice, and I've got to make sure I do it even more. Is to actually acknowledge and even maybe private message people that comment on your post.
Yep.
Like, not just to do the like, to actually go, hey, thanks for commenting, thanks for engaging, or that was cool, or what was your story?
Yep.
So that was good information that I still have not done very well. I'm working on it.
And I'll take that as advice because I'm in the same boat. Because I see it, and you're like, man, like, you know, when I've shared something and I'll get that message, hey, thanks for sharing, like, you notice it, you know, and it's like, we need to do a better job of it, 100%.
All right, so we've gotten cut off. Poor technical management on my fault. Our phone overheated the first time, and then the second time, too much storage. But we're going to attempt to find out from Mr. Jeremy Hyde. Tell me about Smith & Davis. How are you tied into Smith & Davis? I saw your sign is right there in the door. How much do you pay for that prime advertising?
So thankfully, I don't have to pay anything for the prime real estate or the prime advertising. Ronald Davis, or Mr. Davis from Smith & Davis, is my grandfather. He passed about 3.5 years ago, but so my mother's the baby of that family. So, so I kind of grew up in the store. I mean, like from 2-3 years old, I remember my Aunt Martha, Aunt Gladys, rest both their souls there in heaven. You know, in the stock room as clothes came in. I mean, I was on the tables, and basically my job was to rip open the plastic. You know, so like as a 2-3-year-old little kid, I don't remember this. My mom they tell stories about it all the time, but I do remember Aunt Martha and growing up there. But that was, you know, as a 2-3-year-old kid, like, hey, you get to rip open plastic and all the bubble wrap, and that was it.
Step on it.
But yeah, so it's like I said, grew up there. I mean, been there for.
And your grandma still works there.
Yes.
I got to meet her. She seemed awesome.
She is the sweetest old lady. According to my mom, she did have some Sour Patch type moments. She could be, but I could never think that about my Meemaw. But but she still works, and she's big. She basically says if she stops working, her mind will stop.
Yeah.
And so it just, I mean, she doesn't do near as much on the back end as she did 30, 40 years ago. My mom, and then there's another accountant that they work with that they do a lot of the brunt work, but Meemaw's still there counting bills, doing payroll. Like she'll be what I guess was probably there last night because every other Thursday's payroll. So goes back, gets off a little bit early, and then goes back when everybody gets done and signs checks. I mean, because they're still old school. Again, it's not like I'm sure some people do direct deposits now, but even then, I mean, she literally will go in and sign every check that people get to this day.
Well, I know Grandma's gonna live forever, but
Yep.
When she does decide not to work there anymore, who's it going to? Who's going to run the business?
So my uncles, Tony and George, both been there, all been there working. If you go to Smith and Davis, you've seen them. Some people actually think they're Mr. Davis because they're both getting a little bit gray. Sorry, I'm talking about you guys.
So I am. You're not yet. You're still a young man.
I did get asked that the other day. Oh, so is that Mr. Davis? I'm like, no, that's Mr. Davis's boys. So the store's actually, cool. So that they'll run the store, and then from there, I mean, hopefully they're in their 60s, so they've got some time. My cousin Jacob. Tony's son works there in the back, and him and then another guy named Sam are the kind of younger, I would say, generation that are running things and keeping things going.
So it's not going anywhere.
I hope not. I don't think it will. I know Pop's plan was he never wanted to sell it. He was big on keeping it the way it was.
Well, we're putting that softball complex in the backyard.
I would love to. I was turned down on that a couple times. Family, let me say.
I'm going to keep bringing it up because I love the idea.
Well, so can I say that the tent sale is like legitimately Tony's biggest thing of why not to, and because for him he's like that's all of that land up there is parking. That's what they use. He's like this is a big thing that he's like we couldn't do it. He said if you bring that in, he said now you've got it. I'm like so. I get it, but I'm like, all right, well, let's get rid of the tent sale and build a ballpark complex. But,
How about this? We build because you talked about indoor.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor, now the tent sale the other day, well, it wouldn't be a tent sale anymore. It'd be an indoor soccer facility shoe store.
That's true.
But that's right inside the...
That would mean, Bill go and say, hey, we're not going to have baseball, softball for 4 or 5 days. And
where the tent is, that's all the little batting cages and indoor plays. And then it's the tent sale.
I wouldn't hate it again.
We need to plant the seeds with who's Tony's son.
Yes,
Jacob, with his kids. We need to plant it with Jacob. We got to work on Jacob. Tony's out.
So it's like Jacob. You got is Sadie gonna play softball?
And so your grandmother works, and I know we talked so much about this before and it got cut off, but I don't want to not mention the family dinners. Your grandma makes a mean fried chicken and a sweet tea.
So for Meemaw to me makes anything good. That's just as I tell my kids that she puts her heart and her love in her food, and it's good. That's just what it is. But sweet tea is to me the best that I'd put it up against anybody's. But yeah, Sunday dinners growing up, that was our Sunday for me lunch, afternoon. So everybody went to church. Some of us the same church, some of us different, but usually about 12:30, 1 o'clock, everybody showed up and food was ready.
Yeah.
And it was every Sunday it was different, but Meemaw and Papa were cooking.
Yeah.
And it was fun growing up because it was knowing we went over there, and so Jacob's a year and a half younger than me. I've got an older brother, I've got a little brother, and then a bunch of other cousins in between that are girls.